so hard for people to quit their job. If you left today, your company would move on without you. We are heading into a new decade, a new season for you to evaluate your career and take the steps needed to advance strategically. And it all starts with determining whether you should quit your job. This is one episode of a 10-part series called Should I Quit My Job that will take you through evaluating yourself, managing external impacts on your career, evaluating your current reality, and creating a plan to move forward. My name is Julia, and I am the career strategist behind the Ride the Tide Collective podcast, where we equip ambitious professionals to strategize and take action to advance their career. Welcome everyone to the first episode in the Should I Quit My Job series. I am so happy that you are joining us, and today we are actually going to answer the question, should you quit your job? I know it seems a little bit crazy, but I want you to decide now if doing this work and digging in will be right for you. So many people either don't appreciate the position they have, or they know they want more, but they don't know where to start. This series will help professionals in both of these scenarios. We are going to look at ourselves and assess ourselves in two different ways, internal and external. The internal assessment will look at what you can control, and the external assessment will evaluate what is out of your control and then how to manage it. Each episode will walk you through different considerations and provide prompts and examples to help you evaluate these internal and external considerations for yourself. So let's get started. Well, should you quit your job? It depends, which is something you will hear me say quite a bit. We are all different. We have different career journeys and goals. We have different personalities and values. We live in different areas and have different worldviews. All of these differences have to be taken into consideration when answering this question. I want you to determine upfront, why are you considering quitting your job? And really, you should fall into one of these scenarios. The first scenario is you've outgrown your position and you're not sure where to go next. This can happen when you applied for your position, you were possibly overqualified for it, and now there's nowhere for you to go. You can't grow. It's possible that because of that, you undervalued your skill set, and so you got bored quickly. So should you quit your job if you're in that scenario? Not necessarily. You need to do some of the internal work to be able to advocate for yourself and evaluate the external environment to make sure moving on is the best choice. There might be opportunities available that you don't know about if you haven't spoken with your boss. The second scenario is, I like my job enough, but something's missing. So in this situation, you probably feel complacent, possibly uninspired. More than likely, you have friends at work and you don't really want to leave, but you also know that something needs to change. Should you quit your job? Maybe. Again, doing the internal work will help you evaluate if this position and company are right for you. Maybe you need to be at a more inspired company, or maybe a company that has inspiring leadership or a stronger mission. You won't know until you understand yourself and what you need. But what I can say is you shouldn't stay in a position for other people. It's great that you have friends, but those friends don't pay your bills or live your life. The third scenario is I'm in a toxic environment and I need to get out, but I don't know how, I don't know where to go next. All right, let's talk about toxic environments for a minute. If you are being verbally, physically, or emotionally abused, you need to document the incidents and report them to HR immediately. Depending on the severity, you might want to consider taking a health-related leave of absence. If your situation creates high levels of anxiety or pulls you into depression, you can talk to your doctor about the situation and the symptoms. In this case, no one has to know why you're taking leave. In that time, you can search for a new position. I never recommend to leave a position without a position in place, except in the case of extreme substantiated toxicity. And even then, it's better to take the health leave so you don't have a gap and you can manage your health while looking for a new position. So in this scenario, should you quit your job? In the end, probably. And here are some of the ways to do that. If you have enough money saved up, at least 6 to 9 months worth of expenses, quit immediately. But this is still a pretty big risk. Your mental health probably isn't great, and it can take a while to get a job if you don't have the right connections in place now. The second option is to take the leave of absence I mentioned, get your head right, and find another job while on leave. And the third option is to quit your job and take any job. This would be a transition that gets you out of the toxic environment, but is easy to do and allows you to job search. Remember, there are a lot of considerations to make here: your location, the availability of jobs, and your financial needs. You have to do what is best for you, your mental health, and your family when you're dealing with toxic situations. And the fourth situation that you might be in is you're ambitious and you want to move ahead quickly in your career. The position that you're in doesn't allow you to grow or expand your skill set. This is similar to our first scenario where you've possibly outgrown a position, but in this case, you want to move faster than your current position or possibly your field will allow. Should you quit your job? Probably not right away. You need to do some internal work to make sure you are really ready to advance quickly, and you need to understand the external environment to make sure they are ready for you. You might want to consider a side hustle in your field to allow you to build skills and move as quickly as you want. Again, this can be determined if we do the internal work. Now, technically, there's a fifth option, which is you love your job and you don't plan to leave anytime soon. And hey, that's great. I love it when people find companies and work they love. That's the whole point of what I do. But I still believe you can learn more about yourself and your environment from this season of episodes. The reality is, you never know when things may change and you want to be prepared. What if your boss leaves or the company gets bought out? What if a recession hits and your company has to downsize? It's always good to be prepared, even when you're happy. If you fall into any of these scenarios, welcome. Let's go on this journey together. I would love to know what scenario you identify with and what questions you have that you would like to be answered. When you subscribe to our email list, you can reply to any of the emails you receive or send me a DM on Instagram. I will leave the links for both of these in the show notes. If you're interested in digging deeper with this content and interacting with like-minded professionals, please join our Facebook group by joining Ride the Tide Collective or also looking in the show notes for this link.